We would like to apologize for the week-long break, but years. So, let's finish this, shall we? You really let her go? Asked Max. I thought you two were inseparable. Greengrass shrugged. I knew I was. Well, I was certain that the cultists would kill me. There for me to become fertilizer for my flowers, then to crush them when I fell. Can we maybe stop talking in gardening metaphors? No, I told this to Nori. She understood, and she left to ply her roots elsewhere. That's all there really is there to it. But you lived, said Max, in a low tone, because your father and I saved you. Have you reached out to... What for? I was honest with her. She learned all that she could from me. Now all I can do is weigh her down. And besides, live is perhaps overstating it. I'm still walking around, but I can't grow in Equestria or even Canada now. Luna won't let me. Really, from a plant-based perspective, I'm more of a rotting tree that hasn't quite fallen over yet than anything else. But you, Max, you are another rare flower. The kind the court hasn't seen in centuries. If my destructive fertilizer... Okay, first of all, I'm not your flower. Nor am I a weed, a bush, or a ficus tree. Max put a hoof on Greengrass's shoulder. Second, I'm not building my career on your corpse. Then what are we going to do? Max took a long breath. We are going back to Luna, he said at last. We're telling her what Fish agreed to. Because that's corruption, and she should know, in the interest of complete honesty. I am telling her why. I'm not going to lie and say that I also caught you in some genuine attempt to ruin me, and I hope that her hatred for you elevates me. I'll make it very clear you rang your own sting on Fisher specifically so I would overhear it. Are we clear? Really? The gardener laughed. How far are you willing to go with that complete honesty thing? I've been told I could be quite a bastard, Max. Suppose I committed a genuine crime, when you felt compelled to report. How would you stop yourself from benefiting then? For a moment, Max had no answer, but only for a moment. With complete honesty, he said, if you commit a real crime, I'll turn you in, and I'll explain why. I'll tell all the world that you robbed orphans, or widows, or Philly Scouts in order to help me. Luna won't fire me. She knows I wouldn't really be to blame. But the public response, my prestige, I suffer for it. You know it. He smiled. If you want to raise me by doing something evil, I'll make sure I don't benefit at all from it. Any other bright ideas? But Greengrass seemed lost for words. You can't take yourself hostage. That's not fair. Max laughed. There's only one way you can help me. Make yourself a better pony. Earn back the trust and reputation. If you try to cheat, I'll expose you myself. And if I get a little embarrassed, so... The Duke shook his head. You know, he said, you've got the makings of a very manipulative pony. And you've got a better heart than you ever admit. Max clapped Greengrass on the back. So, how about it? Let's go talk to Luna? Greengrass didn't move when Max started to walk. Max, he trailed. Why should you care about saving my career? There's nothing left of it anyway. I sit in the court and I can't as much as a traffic bill passed. I have no power or influence. The only pony I care about, I lost her too. He sighed. What's the point of me staying in the game? I answered that, sir. Greengrass and Max almost jumped a foot off the ground as they turned to see the little white mare walking out from behind a tree. Greengrass spoke first. Notary, but... Notary smiled softly as Greengrass stared. It's good to see you again too, sir. The two were hugging. It took almost a minute before Greengrass could manage. I thought you were fixing up Pittsburgh. And I did. I applied for long-forgotten grants, which there was no competition, restructured the city's civic government to be much more efficient, persuaded the citizens to vote in new officials that would actually lead the town instead of sitting in stupor, and helped sort out their tax breaks with advertising campaign, persuading a few businesses to move to the city. They're doing as well as any other industrial town now. Greengrass blinked. All that in 6 months. Nori smiled. But why did you come back? I received a letter from you. Probably forced by sneak attacks, said Max.
Yes, and like the code we use. As such, I concluded the message might have been fraudulent, so I took a different train. As it happened, some police shut down the train station before my train arrived. I only just got in.
Lowry looked at Greengrass.
So what's going on?
Oh, long story. Tell you about it later. How long are you staying? The next train to Pittsburgh.
I am staying permanently.
Greengrass was silent for a few moments, but Pittsburgh
Can get along without me. Not that I have shown them what they need to do. They barely noticed me when I was there. Except when my shield explained the things I needed. He could handle things on his own from now on.
But you wanted to matter, and
yes, and I did matter here. But I think I can also matter here.
No, you bust.
I did. I missed you, sir. And I think you missed me.
Greengrass looked away, but Max noted how his eyes seemed to be tearing up. You have no idea how much I want you to resume your place by my side. But Notary, I have no power, no influence. I could do nothing for you. You deserve better than to languish by my side.
That's hardly the attitude I expect from a pony who wants to spy to rule the nation,
said Notary in a mildly reprimanding voice.
Furthermore, you do have something to offer me. Your friendship. And I could offer you mine if you want it.
Of course I want it.
Besides, I hardly think it's impossible for you to regain what you lost. And even if we must do it in a more honest fashion.
Must we? Said Greengrass.
Yes, or my wife will kill me.
Knowing Greengrass's shocked look, she added,
Baron Max had no power 18 months ago, and now he's one of the most prominent ascending nobles in the court. You are, Duke. Even with no other nobles on your side, you could do things that will force the nation to respect and support you. Especially if we do it together. She paused. I know your downfall was caused by my capture.
No, it was caused by my own mistakes. Not hear you criticizing yourself about it. Greengrass was silent for a long moment. Will you really work with me once again?
Of course.
Then welcome back. They hugged. Max grinned. All right, you two. Now, let's go tell Luna about Fisher's latest crime, leaving nothing out, okay? Greengrass mock pouted, but he was clearly happy. And in his head, he was marveling at the thought of having just been defeated by Baron Max of all ponies. As you wish, Baron. After you, Greengrass.
Well, that was an interesting story. Very fun, and we still got a few bits more.
Wait, oh, you mean we're actually going back to the Lunaverse cast for a bit? I am utterly shocked. The Evening Express to Ponyville is now pulling into the station. It will depart in approximately 12 minutes. Raindrops yawned as she approached the train. A full day had passed since they had talked to Princess Luna, and it had been very enjoyable indeed. After a lovely breakfast at one of the castle restaurants, Neil was to take its snails to the Incitarium, where he had dragged her through all the exhibits, and revealed his encyclopedic knowledge about all things squirmy. He even listed a few things to know, which absolutely thrilled him. They then had a very enjoyable lunch at the Pizza Palace, the greatest pizzeria in all of Caroline, where Shirley properly introduced Judy Yenpei to them, as he told them about some of her adventures, including her quest to save the trapped ponies of the Crystal Empire. Next, they all took a nice long walk throughout the Caroline Gardens, where snails chased more bugs than every pony else just relaxed. After the nightmare the previous day had been, it was nice for things to be pleasant again.
We've got to see each other more often, Shirley was saying to Judy Yenpei. It was so much fun catching up with you. And likewise, said Judy. Maybe next time we could do it without the nutjob Cincinnati's.
Shirley laughed, and the two nuzzled.
It was good seeing you, Deanne. Nice to see you too, Chat.
Carrot Top chuckled at the two and turned to Raindrops.
Wasn't the Incitarium fun? I can't wait to tell the Union of Farmers what kind of new bugs we can use. Maybe we'll all chip in and get one of those spell bugs that'll walk over your field and plow it for you.
Sounds kind of column-esque to me. Let me go out of control and start to plow everything.
Carrot Top blinked.
Maybe we're supposed to magically repel bad bugs.
Probably wise.
Raindrops chuckled.
But don't tell Snails. He doesn't believe in bad bugs.
Raindrops! Raindrops! Snails scampered in front of the newsstand. Newspaper clutched tightly in his necessity telekinesis. Look at the papers. They were about you. Raindrops grinned.
What did he write?
That you and the other knights and Baron Max were really super awesome, and you saved every pony. Snails' voice was almost a cheer. And that you went into the airship place, and you beat up all the bad guys and saved a lot of lives, and you were super duper amazing, and Snails took a breath and then said, and that you're the best pony in the world.
Really? It said that?
Snails blessed, more or less. But it didn't actually say it. Then sort of. The weatherman laughed and scooped at Snails.
Anything else to do with you, Snails? Any other ponies we know?
You might want to check page 2. Raindrops started to see Bear Max and the Duke Greengrass approaching, smiles on both their faces. The weatherman looked at Greengrass, who was the pony he had spoken.
Dare I ask why?
Well, there's just a fascinating story. It seems the good R-Suit Fisher has run into a spot of trouble. Greengrass shook his head. He's not long for the court, I'm afraid. In addition to screwing up so badly yesterday that he would have gotten those prisoners killed if it wasn't for us, said Max. Allegations that he was behind the vigilantes since Goliath worked for him, since they used his bombs, etc. It seems he made a deal to salvage his political position by destroying me, as well as Viscount Red's Ripple of Montreal. That was the final star with Princess Luna. He might be innocent of helping the vigilantes. The guards thing might have just been incompetence. But that kind of naked corruption, he says he's done. And the indictments were handed down this morning, said Greengrass. He's been asked to set his affairs in order and turn himself in within 48 hours. His wife, Swell, will gladly take up his seat in court.
Good, said Charlie.
See Dupay approach the others. He won't be missed. The train to Ponyville blasted his horn. 5 minutes, called the conductor. Raindrops knowing.
We gotta get going, Baron. Thanks you all your help. You're a good friend.
Barrick smiled. The pleasure is mine. Thank you for your assistance in protecting the lives of the citizens of Carolot.
You should come visit Ponyville sometime, said Carrot Top. Also, every pony would love you.
Maybe some other time. For tonight, Max smiled, turned, looking slightly dopey. Princess Posey and I have an evening plan. Greengrass shook his head. I'm given to understand he doesn't like it when you get beaten half to death on some heroic stunt. He's not too fond of the beaten part, said Max, rubbing a hoof over some of the bruises he had gotten in all the fighting. But the heroic stuff? She loves it when I tell her stories about things like that. Then see, Greengrass held up a hoof. Actually, this is the part where I stop asking questions. Max chuckled. Turns out the mayors like ponies who do the right thing. You should try it more often. Raindrops turned to Greengrass.
On that note, I appreciate you protecting Snails. So thanks again. But I still don't like you. That isn't going to change.
Likewise, I suppose. Raindrops turned to go. They changed their mind and walked up to Greengrass.
And so, if you think you're helping me means we'll go easy on you if you do something else to us, think again. We got the right approach. You heard us? We will use it and we'll bury you, okay?
There wasn't as much anger in her tone now. She mostly gotten rid of her pent-up frustrations from the previous day, no longer desired to beat Greengrass senseless. But she did want to make sure Greengrass knew he didn't have carte blanche to go after the elements again. Greengrass widened his eyes with a good intimidation of astonishment. Why, are you threatening me?
Yes. Yes, I am.
The Duke shook his head slightly. Please don't underestimate me, Raindrops. I may have lost Luna's favor and my own political influence, but I assure you, I can make you very unhappy if I so chose, and Luna wouldn't be able to do a thing about it. Raindrops' eyes narrowed.
Oh yeah? You just try it!
Greengrass stepped to the side and said loudly, as if a natural continuation from their conversation, Why, that's a wonderful idea, Raindrops. I would love to have Snails stop by on the occasional weekend and help me with replanting my garden. His knowledge of bugs would indeed be useful. I'm sure I'd love to see all the exotic and magical specimens that a gardener like mine utilizes. Wow! Snail spun around and jumped in front of Raindrops. Oh, can I, sis? Can I come play with the bugs and help Mr. Greengrass sometime soon? Please?
What? But I never...
Raindrops stuttered. Just he made a mistake of looking into Snails' big, pleading eyes.
I mean, that is...
She threw up her wings.
I give up! I'm going home.
Charlie and Carrot Top chuckled. The Snails, who seemed to think this means yes, squealed with joy and hopped on Raindrops' back. I can't wait! I'll bring you back plenty of pretty flowers, Raindrops. Now, I have to ask, is this for decoration or a snack? Greengrass burst into laughter, and even Max seemed amused. They almost boarded the train, cheerily waving goodbye to Duty and Carrot Top, saying a few quick words to the stallions. Snails hurried to sit in the back seat of the car. "Raindrops?" he called. "Yeah, I'm going for you." Snails waved so she would sit next to him. "And I'm going to keep being the best little brother I can be."
"And I'll be the best big sister I can be."
Raindrops hugged him close, so he didn't feel angry at the moment. So he beat in all the village and protected her brother. That was what mattered. So he had kept him safe and helped secure the health, safety world for him. So he then hugged him again as the train began to move.
"I promise."
3 days later, Diamond Tiara was still in a bad mood. First, her dad dragged her to that stupid bug museum. Then some stupid criminals ran around town and did stupid things, and all the ponies had to stay indoors. So she and Silver Spoon were trapped in the nearest building, a supplier of stupid sewer pipes. And their fathers had been so intrigued by a business proposition the proprietor had come up with that they spent the entire next day, after the lockdown was lifted and ponies could do fun things, in the sewer contractor's office, talking about pipes. It was the most boring day Diamond Tiara had ever spent in Carolot. And to top it all off, when they finally came home, Charlie was demanding a parent-teacher conference. She completely exaggerated about what happened to Snails, and now both she and Silver Spoon were grounded for 2 weeks. Tying him to sample the elegant cuisine of her farms, cancelled. Their tickets to go on an airship ride from Carolina to Philadelphia back, traveling the most luxurious accommodations available, gone. And all because he slightly bothered Snails. It wasn't fair. So besides, she dragged herself through the front gate, locked it behind her, sat down in the yard. Except for school, her father strictly forbidden her from leaving the family property for the duration of her grounding.
"This sucks," she said. "Snail sucks. Psst, DT."
Diamond Tiara's ears twisted. She thought she heard Silver Spoon's voice. But that was impossible. That filly was grounded for as long as she was.
"Ah, DT, let me in."
Diamond Tiara leaned over the fence and saw Silver Spoon hiding in a bush outside.
"I got something important to tell you,"
whispered the foal, who looked around panicked.
"Something horrible happened."
Diamond Tiara didn't want to get in any more trouble. But she didn't want to leave her friend in the lurch either. She quickly opened the gate and let Silver Spoon in.
"What? Get your mail now."
Silver Spoon grabbed Diamond Tiara.
"Before your dad does."
Confused, Diamond Tiara trotted over to the mailbox and took out the letters.
"What? It's a bunch of flyers and catalogs and an invitation from Button Mass to do something called LARP. Whatever that is."
"It's something that causes you to lose dignity." Silver Spoon quickly picked out one of the catalogs.
"Look at this. The full free flyer."
Diamond Tiara examined the cover, which showed a bunch of foals without any dresses, toys, or any other things that might be sellable.
"What's wrong? Just read page 5.
Diamond Tiara opened to that page and smiled.
"Hey, it's a picture of us."
She pointed to 2 large images.
"They even got my good side." "No, read the text below it."
Diamond Tiara did so.
"It's come to our attention that some of our foal models, in particular the Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon series, possess several round defects. We're perfect. Just keep reading."
The filly did so.
"Ponies from these models may exhibit the following traits: bullying, brattiness, noisiness, obnoxiousness, general misbehavior. In the interest of satisfying all our customers, we'd like to assure you that if your Diamond Tiara or Silver Spoon displays any of these behaviors, you may trade them in immediately for a new model."
She gaped to turn to Silver Spoon.
"I thought you were making that up to get rid of Snails." "So did I. I didn't think foals really came from a store. My parents told me Princess Luna personally created me and gave me to them as a gift. Silver Spoon shook her head dumbly. But it's in a catalog, so it has to be true. The consumer put them right it otherwise. Maybe the catalog's fake, murmured Diary Tiara, hoping against hope. So stupid prank. Silver Spoon shook her head. It's got ordering numbers, customer service mailing addresses, a survey in the back. It's got everything a real catalog has. It can't be fake. But we could ask our parents. But then we'll think we'll have the nosiness flaw. Silver Spoon looked pang. We can't do that. Diamond Tiara turned the page and read. Trade in now. We'll make you a great offer on top of the line model. If you want compassion and energy and love, try our dinky model. If you want speed and power, why not look into a Scootaloo? A scooter included. So he made a mental note of the catalog number for the later fold, then continued. A pipsqueak can't be beat in terms of good cheer and better behavior, and only they do, Barry Vessel do. Try our Princess series. A big picture of the look took up a corner of the next page. Trade in today. Remember, our customers deserve the best parents. They deserve the best foals. What are we going to do? Asked Silver Spoon. What if our parents trade us in for better foals? They wouldn't. They love us. Diamond Tiara's voice trailed off. Father had seemed so angry with her when he found out what she'd done to Snails that he'd barely been able to speak. What if he did trade her in for a Dinky? All the adults liked Dinky. She could compete with that. I mean, we have to stop them. We won't let them trade us in. But what can we do? First, let's burn the catalogs. I already burned the one at my house. What if our parents get more in the mail? We have to, Diamond Tiara gulped. She didn't like what she had to be saying, but she had no choice. We have to be nice. We have to not to be bratty or bullies or what else the stupid thing says we might be. We're not defective. The company will take us back. Silver Spoon paused. Is it a little too late? No. We'll be nice as falls in old Ponyville. Even the dorks like Sniffs and Snails. We'll be so good that no pony will want to get rid of us. She bumped towards the Silver Spoon. We could do it. We're the smartest foals in town. She looked out over the fence and saw some of the foals wandering around, playing and goofing in a nice spring day. I could do this, she thought. I just have to be nice to them, but I'll do it. I won't get returned for a better model. And so, as Truffle Shuffle walked past the house, she made herself raise a hoof and wave. Hi, nice day, isn't it?
And now, the rest of the story.
Snails! Snails! Snails!
Snails grinned as Pinkie Pie set the gigantic ice cream sundae in front of him. It was as tall as he was, and dripping with hot fuzz, whipped cream, and crumbled cookies.
I'm so excited! The Pinkie Pie screamed. This is the first super duper ice cream amulet test in Ponyville history! She bounced around Snails. Best thing ever! Snails!
Chanted the foals who had agreed to watch.
No ponies ever eaten the super-sized sugar sweet sundae before, said Sweet Belle. Everybody gets close, you get brain freeze. I heard Big Mac couldn't do it, said Scootaloo. Or Bod Bod, or Pinkie Pie. They love sweet things.
I can. Ice cream headaches don't bother me. Snail set up the amulet that come with the mail earlier that day, then put it around his neck. I got this. And without further ado, he plunged his head into the sundae and began to gobble. The false and Pinkie kept cheering, and Snails worked his way to the sundae, forgoing a spoon and sat chewing right through it. By minute 7, he had outlasted every other pony who had fallen to the dread ice cream headache. By minute 9, he had eaten so much he had to crane his head to the bowl to continue, make it look like it was swallowing him. The deaf man had not ended yet when he looked at the last bits of ice cream and cheered, I did it!
Yay! Yelled the foals. That was amazing, said Firelock, a few flares shooting out of her horn celebration. That was so cool. Your amulet rocks.
I know. Princess Luna gave it to me, said Snails. She wanted to thank me after I helped catch a real bad criminal in Camelot last week. The foals whispered amongst each other at that. Snails beamed. That's not all. She also gave me this little guy. He opened up his saddlebag and took out a jar, which contained a big beetle. He let the beetle out, was scampered around for a bit, then picked up a stone and hefted it over his head. It's a Hercules beetle, the strongest beetle in Equestria. It's awesome. The foals were still chattering about that when Truffle Shuffle ran up.
Hey everybody, something weird happened. I was by Diamond Tiara's house earlier, and she actually waved and said hello to me.
He paused.
I think she's been replaced by an alien.
Whoa, said Featherweight. Weird. Why would she be so nice? Snail smiled as he listened to the theories. He didn't tell him about the letter he'd gotten from Mr. Greengrass and Carolot, explaining that, seeing as how it was unfair and mean for Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon to be so horrible to him, they were receiving a certain catalog in the mail that would make them much nicer for a while. After all, he'd been asked to keep it a secret, and while he normally wasn't a very vengeful pony, he thought in this one case, it would be okay to let the two bullies stew for a couple of days. Besides, they really didn't matter. What mattered was that he was Snails, a great little colt and a wonderful brother, who had bugs and ice cream and all kinds of good things. He had great friends, a spectacular teacher, and a wonderful town where he lived and learned and played. His amazingly incredible sister would always fight the bad ponies of the world to make sure that all the little ponies would be treated with kindness, fairness, and justice. Snail smiled in contentment. I am a good sister, and I'm a good brother. What could be better than that?
Hey, Snails!
He turned to see raindrops flying down towards them.
There's a little extra cloud stuff flowing in the Everfree today.
What? Snails grinned and skipped up his beetle and ran towards his wonderful sister. More than anything, he thought. More than anything.
Well, folks, this might be one of the best episodes of the whole damn season. But not without its flaws.
It seems to me that every time I see some of these nobles of the court show up in the Lunaverse, and this is especially true for the story, I have to ask, are you sure you want to be writing stories featuring the Lunaverse cast? Because sometimes it feels like they crowd out the Lunaverse cast. Like here, for instance, it seems like there was way more interesting things going on with Greengrass and Max and all this, and Greengrass seemed to be more developed and had more characterization than what seemed to be a really important plot. Which, once again, always brings up the point that I always have problems with. And I don't think people get it. About the real reason why we don't have the cops in some of these kids' shows do this. Why the real reason we don't have the military do everything. Why we don't have, Gandalf coming in and busting crap all over the place. Why we don't have Princess Luna and Celestia frying everything. Let me ask you, who are the main characters of your story? If you cannot tell me that the main characters are supposed to be doing this crap, then why should I care? And that's my biggest flaw. When you start pulling this crap, I have to wonder, why should I care about the Lunaverse cast? Why should I give a flip about what happens to them when it seems that the story is all about Archduke Fisher, about Greengrass, and all that? My other problem? Diamond Tiara felt really out of character for this. This felt like character for canon Diamond Tiara, but Lunaverse Tiara? Not so much. She's way nicer in this universe. I feel like this would have been better if we had two random Ritz ponies hurt Dust Snails rather than Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. This just felt out of place, But this doesn't subtract from the good. I love Snails dealing with his own sense of self-worth. Because sadly, it's true. You can put yourself through a lot and look at some of the things that best value, but sometimes depression can make you feel like, well, there's this one circumstance, who cares about the rest? Or, oh, I'm not really that special. It's a deep, dark void that's hard to get away from. And the only way you can fix it is with constant, support and telling and compliments and trying to help people understand this. This type of thing really hurts, and it can make a person not want to get better because they don't feel like there's a point. The other thing I loved, the greatness of justice versus revenge. I love how the story took a good long look at what is the limit of both protection and revenge. Oh sure, Archduke saved a bunch of ponies, but who cares? Shining Armor could have done that. Anybody could have done that. But in the end, all that he did was that he could have gotten a bunch of ponies killed for his actions. And then you gotta ask yourself, who does that make you adore? Is it really heroic to do such a thing? I also love how we dealt with the grayness of justice versus revenge. Who gives us the right to determine who live or die for justice? Or how far is it before it turns into revenge? And we allow our hatred of evil. Ooh, I want them dead. One thing I always point out about punishment like this is that it doesn't really teach you anything. Because for one thing, you're dead. But it teaches you fear. It teaches those other people anger and rage because they feel like, oh, if you're going to do that, then who cares? Might as well do it anyway. You get a lot of fun out of it. Or just show it to you. Hell, look at Raindrops. She was willing to do that, but she didn't even think about the, what would happen afterwards. What's stopping a family from coming by and, killing snails in revenge? Sometimes I look at some of the people who complain about characters like Starlight, and I think they don't want her punished. I feel like they want her dead. They don't care if she gets the punishment she deserves. They just want to see her suffer and be in pain and misery. I wouldn't be happy until she lies dead, 6 feet under the ground. And that's not justice. That's not right. That's murder. That's killing. And that's the gray area part of it all. Where does it stop? And when do we have the right to do that? This is one thing I love about Conquest that I was doing, was showing just how much of an inky black hole hatred and revenge can be. Well, that was one down. Several more to go. Next time, I'm going to look up that little dinky derpy fig that somebody posted up a few months back. And then maybe, since it's January, we'll do a Sonic crossover. Because last year, we Sonic fans were doing really good. Hey, don't worry, Mario fans. This might be your year. Fingers crossed!